Hey guys, I just played a game that I'm pretty excited about. I beat a Terran player with, it wasn't amazing, but then again, I'm only like a gold/platinum player, so for my skill level, I think it was a pretty good game. I think you guys might be able to learn a little bit from here, so I'm going to jump in. I'm going to see what the hell happened here. We're going to watch this, have some fun, and yeah, so pretty standard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do my 9 pylon. I actually do it just a tiny bit early though. I'm going to do my 9 pylon, and then I'm going to go on to doing my, whatchamacallit, 11 Scout. That's the one that I was looking for. So I'm just going to leave it in first person view, and I am going to just, so you guys can see what's going on here. Let's put the cursor over here so it's out of the way. As you can see, the Terran player going for a 13 racks. I didn't realize that Terran can get out their initial workers so much faster than Protoss. Interesting. Because he's way ahead in supply. And it's not like as if I'm majorly messing up. Anyways, he's doing a gas deal, and he made me do a gas deal, which made me think he's doing something with tech like Banshees or Reapers. So obviously scouting his base, I see the one gas, and I say, okay, I see the gas, and I see the barracks. It's not safe to do a fast expand, so I'm not going to fast expand. Instead, I'm just going to get a couple more gates, and then throw down a robo or something like that. Of course, don't know exact build orders, and I also don't really like exact build orders, because what I've noticed is a lot of low-level players, they will implement a build order, A, B, C, D, they'll take them up to 27 supply or whatever, and then they don't know how to play after that point. They do an awesome job at everything until then, and then they just, boom, they don't know what to do because they don't actually learn how to play or what the build order does for them. All they do is they just cut, copy, paste, follow the instructions, and once the instructions run out, So even though build orders are a good thing for learning how to do good openings, please keep that in mind, guys, that you don't want to just cut, copy and paste build orders because you don't know what to do. Of course, getting that sentry ever crucial to defend against an early harass if it does come, and chrono boosting that warp gate research quite a bit, making sure I'm not getting supply blocked. Okay, I see the army coming to save my scout because I do want to go see if he's expanding, even though he does have his army. Putting mine in position, of course keeping my eye on the mini-map for when they come because this is an intense moment. And as you can see, always building workers still. He scans and the force field goes down, and just back up so he can't hit my units because I don't need them to get free shots with that scan being there. And I see him running away, so I'm not too worried, but another stalker, a couple more zealots. I saw some marauders in there, that's why I'm going for the zealots. Just because if I can get that force field to block some of the marauders on my ramp, those zealots will be really good. Of course, expanding right away, because basically once you push off a little push like that, that one you should be able to sort of feel that it's not a strong push. That one, oh, I didn't scout see if he'd expanded. Bad me. Anyways, that little push, you could sort of tell is just a, I'm going to see if you're vulnerable. If you are, I'm going to kill you. Otherwise, I'm going to back off and just continue on with my macro. So you want to try and be able to read what type of push it is to know if you should expand right away or not. Sending off my observe to scout. I think that was my second obs. And I'm going to take out that poor little marine there, since he's the only one sitting around. As you can see, getting an immortal, and now building probes. I'm only building one though. Oh my god. Oh man. Too much focused on my micro and macro. Of course, this is sort of good. The fact that I at least get these 3 marauders, because he already killed my units, so I got more kills. There we go. There's some probe production coming along. Slacking a little on that. Trying to use up my chrono boost. Turning things into warp gate. Poor probe got trapped. Now, let's just slow it down a touch. We'll go back to normal game speed now. Of course, putting a pylon in the back corner there because you always do want to make sure that they can't, I just want to make sure that I'm safe from that attack avenue because they always could come in the back. So I like to put a pylon and a cannon there. That's my preference. Of course, working on armor first. Always work on armor first against Terran, especially Marine Marauder. And supply block myself. Great. So anyways, got the scout in his base and just checking around, see what he's doing for tech, if anything. Is he gonna scan my probe and kill it? No? I don't know why he's got those units moving around in his base. But I want to stay on first person view. Anyways, as you can see, working on some tech, getting out some more immortals, chrono boosting my stuff, and now I'm just taking a look, seeing, okay, yeah, just barracks. Not too much to be worried about. normal Marine Marauders. So basically I want to get some Colossi, or if Colossi don't become viable due to Vikings, I want to get out Charge Lot Archon with Templars. Charge Lot Archon Templar seems to be sort of the new big thing against Terran. It's pretty cool. Works quite well, pretty well, because, you know, your Archons early on before your Storms are ready, they'll have splash damage. They're much better now because they're not slowed by Concussive Shell. They haven't been for a few months, and they're considered massive units. So, you know, they're a lot better than they used to be. And still building some probes. And of course you want to get charged when you go with this combo. So the idea is that, you know, your Zealots are quite powerful if you can get them into hit, and then the Archons are doing some splash damage as well as not being slowed by concussive shells, and then you get the Templars for the AoE, and then their Vikings become useless. I'm still going to go with some Colossi early on though. Right now though, if we look at the army tab, as you can see, he pretty much is outweighing me by a ton right now. Oh no, I'm outweighing him by a ton. I thought I was the red one. Derp. So yeah, I've got the bigger army, but there's no point pressing an advantage if I don't have to, if you get what I mean. As you can see, my macro doing quite a bit better than his, except that he has those goddamn mules, so he technically has more mineral income than me. Adding on more production facilities. I know a lot of you guys say, what do I do in the mid-game? What do I do in the mid-game? Well, I've got my army here. I'm trying to keep as much of it as live. I'm not being as active as I should be. At least I've got this scouting around. And I see he's got a factory now. I don't know if I've looked at that. So I'm thinking, okay, he might be getting out that starport soon. Or maybe I don't look for a little bit. But either way, I got my Colossi coming out. Look at this. I've got tech. I've got Colossi tech. I've got my second upgrade being researched. Usually you'd probably have it already done by now, but that's alright. I've got another tech. Charge lots being upgraded. I've got 2 bases fully saturated. This is in less than 14 minutes. And then look at the production facilities. I've got the 1 Robo Bay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gates. So a lot of production facilities. If we look at the Terran player here, you can see he's got 1, 2, 3 barracks with tech labs, 1 with the reactor, so basically 4, 5, 6, 7. He's basically got 7, and he's going Marauder heavy. And then he's got command center coming along the way. He's got his 3rd coming. He's got technology coming out in terms of having the starport. He's working on his upgrades as well. He's currently 0-0, so he's working on his 1st one. These bunkers should be salvaged, which 2 of them looks like they are being salvaged. And he's got, you know, missile turret. Not a bad idea to always just throw 1 here or there, especially to keep those pesky observers away. I would say the only thing that he's not doing great is, you know, he could actually throw on another barracks or 2 and maybe some more tech soon, which I'm not sure if he'll do. But I don't play Terran much, so I really shouldn't critique too much. Okay. If we look at the income tab again, you can see I'm still ahead, even though his economy is technically better. I do have more gas, though, because mules can't make up for that, and he doesn't have enough units on gas, so that's definitely something he wants to change. He does have a fair bit of gas because he's not spending too tech heavy, but Marauders do cost 25 gas each. Morphing that into an orbital first. Yeah, I could be a little more active for sure right now. Oops. I would say, but, you know, especially with the scouting now that that observer is dead. But as you can see, I'm making another observer because that one died. Finally got my first Colossi. I decided I need a couple more sentries because you really do need force fields, quite a few of them, and a Guardian Shield or 2 when you're playing against the Terran. You know, that's very important. Don't know why I was looking down there for a second. Got to turn those into warp gates. Haven't done that yet. Come on. There we go. Turning those into warp gates. And of course, starting another Colossi. Should be working on my upgrades some more, but I didn't have enough money. And oh my god, pissed me off when I saw that I did this. I just built a second. Second. Oh man, it's not a Twilight Council, is it? What is it called? What is it called?
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Yeah, Twilight Council. Second Twilight Council. I meant to get the Templar Archives, and I got the Twilight Council instead. I feel, oh man, because that's a big thing. And I never actually ended up getting Extended Thermal Lance. You know, I thought about getting it, and I probably should have got it. Like, I still would have said to get it, but, you know, I'm not planning on investing heavily in the Colossi because I don't know if I scouted this yet. I might have scouted that starport already. I can't remember. But I do end up scouting a starport. I'm sort of expecting to get Vikings, so I know I'm going to probably want to go the Templar route more so than anything. And I will just look around at a little bit of everything for a little bit right now, everybody. So as we can see, the Terran player here, really actually not, you know, his army size has come up quite significantly, but is that all of it right there? Really, that's 4,000? Wow. Anyways, he doesn't have medevacs yet, which sucks for him. Like, I wish I'd known that. Like, I could have gone in and probably killed him earlier. His macro's definitely not the best, so he could have slightly better macro in terms of building more workers. I know that I'm going to have to get another base soon. Once again, this is the whole mid-game thing. Look, we're getting up to 15, 16 minutes. You should be getting your third base now, if you can secure it. So I'm going for my third base, just destroyed those rocks. Going to be going for that real soon. Notice I've added on one more gateway here, and that's it. But I'm sure I'll be adding more momentarily. If we look at the production tab, you can see getting that thermal lance. Okay, I was just a bit late on getting it. Stupid second Twilight Council. As of course, he's going to build the command center there, turn it into a planetary fortress. Good on him. This is interesting. I don't know why he's moving his Vikings so far in the front. If I had had Blink with my Stalkers, I probably would have built a couple more and went to snipe him. Now, because I'm not planning on investing too heavily into Colossi, like in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking I'll probably have to go Templar route. I've only got 4 Stalkers here. I don't have a ton. Usually, if you're fighting against those Vikings, you'd want to have like 8 Stalkers to be able to snipe, and then the thing is you'd have to micro your Stalkers to actually be shooting the Vikings to keep your Colossi alive longer. And he's building a ton of Vikings, which is good for me, and I don't know how much he's actually scouted, so let's just pause this for a second. He knows I have a Robo Bay. I think he might have seen my Colossus, but I don't know if he actually knows that I have Colossus, so really not the best move by him is what I would say. You know, he's just sort of blindly building all these Vikings, thinking that, you know, which sort of works out. Like here I'm getting my Templar Archive, as you can see, because I actually went in, and if we look at the scouting, I scouted his starport. I know he's going to be doing a lot of Vikings, so basically you've seen for the last little bit I haven't been producing any Colossi, which might actually be a bad thing considering that, you know, my Templar tech isn't actually ready yet. I'm building some Stalkers here. What I was going to do is I started getting Blink. Well, I was going to start picking off these Vikings, but his army started moving in anyways. And there's a bit of a choke here, so I'm not too worried about this engagement. As you probably should have just run away because he did stim, but as you can see, pushing the Marauders back as much as possible. It sort of sucks so for my Zealots. I definitely wasted a lot of those Zealots. They weren't able to attack back. And now I'm just retreating with what I can. If we look at the units lost tab, it's not too bad for me. I'm about 1,000 behind, which is a bit high. But at the same time, it could be much worse. You know, okay, here we go, adding on 2 more gateways and another robotics facility, just in case, because what I'm thinking is it's good to have that extra Robo Bay in case he lets his Viking production slip after I kill them, and then I can go switch back over to Colossi. So it's definitely something worth considering. If we look at the income tab, he's finally caught up with workers, and I'm going to have to start producing workers soon because I am expanding. Keeping my units back as far as possible, just buying some time there for another round of war bins, or some money to be able to do so. And right now I don't have a ton to worry about air, so you know, Zealots right now are really what I'm going to be wanting. What is this? Control Alt N? No. Oh, what was it? Control E? Control W. There we go. And let's go back to the name tab. Oh, I need to remove that one. There we go, and let's go back a skip. Try and figure these out, I'm not too great with them. Okay, so there we go, and now we even have music. As you'll notice here, bad micro on my part, having those sentries in the front, but basically splitting off his army the best I can, so I can do little bite-sized damage. And I'm not too worried about him sniping some of these, I'm more concerned with keeping my army alive. If we look at the units lost tab here, I've really evened up the score. I'm letting him snipe some stuff in return for getting some more Archons out, getting some units that will be useful. Force fields saving my life here, and the fact that he has his Marines and Marauders split up. And I don't think it's a good choice by him to actually stim so much when he's just attacking buildings. Poor Colossi. Oh, that hurt. As you can see, I finally realized that selecting it, trying to get, no, and then, yeah, no, it goes down. But I do survive, I do hold off, and the units lost. Look at that, they're now favoring me by 1,800. 1,800. See, look at that, just a little bit of decent micro. Now, gotta transfer all my workers. There we go. I got a flock of guys transferring. I should have more transferring. I'm not sure. How's my scouting been? No, I still haven't scouted that extra base yet. But, you know, right now, really got to be careful. I'm low on money because I haven't saturated that second base yet, so I'm in a very difficult spot. Sorry, guys. Okay. So as you can see, in a bit of a rough spot because I didn't properly saturate that third base early enough. Too busy with that micro, with that army. Terran really doesn't have to pay attention to his army in that scenario as much, even though he should have paid a little more attention. And I have to pay a ton of attention to mine because I will die without micro. So now, as you can see, starting to do some more scouting, building in some more Templars, of course. And I feel like a total noob. I don't even remember to research Sonic Storm, which sucks. So I noticed he's got the expansion there. I think, okay, at least he doesn't have the gold, but that's not great that he has the expansion there. And I don't even think about putting stalkers on the high ground behind it, because at some point soon I do build a couple of zealots that I was going to use just to go poke and prod, try and do some damage. But I never really thought about using stalkers on the high ground to just hit workers, which would have been really good. Keeping my army on the watchtower, but keeping a very close eye on the minimap because I don't want to get into a bad engagement. And of course, now saturating this base as best as I can. As you can see, building a few more workers for that base. And of course, putting on a lot more production facilities. So look at this, we're 22 minutes into the game. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 gates, 2 robos. So that's quite a bit of production. If we look at the Terran player, he's now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 barracks coming down. He's got 2 starports, 1 with the reactor, of course. And he's on his third base as well. So you can see, this is what you want to look like in the mid-game. If you look at my upgrades, I'm 2 and 1. Terran player not doing so well, though. He's only 1 and 0. Thank God for me. So, you know, this is what it looks like. If you look at the income tab, our harvester counts are actually a little low for this, for 3 base later in the game. You'd actually like to be somewhere closer to 65 or 70 harvesters. But then again, you know, especially since we're not maxed out in army. So if we look here, let's hide that. As you can see, not popping a guardian shield. That was a big mistake there. Damn. At least those immortals are doing some decent damage, but those Vikings on the high ground definitely kicking my butt. Now I realize it's time to retreat. Let's get everything out of there that we can. This is when I realized, oh crap, I don't have storm research, so I started it. Running away whatever I can. See, notice how Archons aren't slowed? Makes a huge difference. Warping some charge lots because he's got, once again, Marauders. Charge lots, really, really good against the Marauders. That's what you want to be using. Not too many Marines. And here we go. Dealing some good damage here. If you look at the units lost tab, this is where I'm going to start seeing a little favoring me, or not. I lied. Okay, retreating my army once again. I'm not too worried. He's not hitting my workers. He's not doing the damage he really needs to be doing. So I'm not that worried about this army. I'm letting him take that. You know, it's one of those things you want to know. What can you let him take? What can't you? You know, so this is buying me time, letting him destroy those, buying me time to build up my army, get in some more units. Storm should be done real soon. Of course, need some more Archons. Archons are great in this case, considering that, you know, Storm is finally finished. I gotta be careful though not to miss Storm. I've definitely lost some games by using Storm when he's just running around and dodging. So I'm going to try and be a lot more careful this game at not doing that. As you can see, I've got my Templar selected, waiting for a good time storm. Nope, not a good time storm. There we go. Get 2 storms. I knew he was going to run into it, try and snipe those Templars. So he sniped them, which sucked, but at the same time, I managed to get off some beautiful storms. If we look at the income tab, the units lost tab now really favoring me, partially because of the upgrade advantage. That's definitely going a long way. Now I'm going to add on some more production facilities because so many of mine got destroyed. And then I'm adding on more pylons, I guess, so it's harder to unpower them. But I don't need more pylons. Still working on my upgrades. And now you'll notice I'm starting to get Colossi out again. I've noticed that his Viking count is really slipping, and I'm expecting it to stay low. I've been showing him Templars. I've been showing him this and that. So, you know, I'm definitely saying it's worth giving it a try. I really wish I'd known whatever happened to those Zealots. When do I warp in those Zealots? I know at one point I warp in 4 zealots and send them running off. Maybe that's them right there. Yeah, this is them. Oh, 5 zealots. So I sort of want to see what happens to these zealots. We're going to go off first person camera. Oh, they just chill out for a little bit. Right, seeing if there was a goal to attack. What's interesting is I can actually see that getting shot. That's pretty funny, so I know he's shooting it with Vikings. Of course, putting some pylons up here, mainly so I know when his army's coming, get a little bit of reaction time. And I thought of something really cool. I've never done this before. I always have a lot of trouble with using a second hotkey for my Templars and keeping them up with my army. So what I did is I have them auto-follow an Immortal, because Immortals probably won't die. And that way they'll just go with my army anyways when I move it. But you never want to group your Templars in with your main army hotkey, because a lot of times they'll go somewhere and then just get slaughtered. So you just want them staying behind. So that was a good idea. I'm proud of myself for thinking of that. If you look at the upgrades here, I'm 2-2, soon to be 3-2, and our Terran player still only has 1 attack, so it's definitely going to favor me. Of course, I'm not suicidal, not going to go in there because it's a planetary fortress. If we look at the army tab, you can see we're actually pretty much neck and neck. I'm a bit ahead though, because I've got more tech, because I do have those Colossi coming out. Well, okay, maybe I stopped producing more Colossi. I'm going to back off. I'm not willing to engage that army. He still has some Vikings though, interestingly enough. There we go, second Colossi out now. And this is going to be great. I basically get some free hits on those Vikings. Very, very good. And if you watch here, storm, stormy, stormy, stormy. And that just won me the game, those couple of storms. If we look at the units lost tab there, amazing! And as you can see, my zealots there going into this base, they cleared something out. Oh yeah. Now let's go back and watch these. I really wanted to see what these zealots managed to do. He really didn't have too much here, but at the same time, stopped his gas production completely from the looks of things. Nice! Nice! And I managed to kill off a few workers that were mining minerals as well. So if we look at the income tab now, yeah! That's really good. And the long distance mining there, because he lifted off this command center instead of building a new one to go for his gold. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Those storms paying for themselves. Look at how I pull ahead at the very end here with units lost by a ton. So definitely, guys, I think this shows you on both teams. The Terran player, what he could have done better is he really needed to get more upgrades. Definitely need to upgrade better and micro. He didn't micro at all. He needed better upgrades, and you know, he was definitely a bit behind, like on grabbing this one. He could have grabbed it a little bit sooner, you know. Not the end of the world though, but he had quite a bit of production facility. So he was pretty decent on production facilities. He was able to spend most stuff, but he didn't tech. He has a lot of gas left over. He didn't saturate all of his bases. His macro just slipped a little bit, and especially his technology. His micro definitely, you know, at the end, my micro is what won me the game. Doing a lot of micro, as you can see. I threw down a lot of production facilities as well. I used some scouting to sort of see what tech he's going. I tried to anticipate what he'd be weak to, you know, and definitely just knowing about different unit compositions. And as I said, I just want to repeat one more time about build orders. Using a build order to start your game is good if you know what it does, if you know how to use it efficiently, but it's not good for those players who use an opening build order and then just copy paste, listen to instructions, and then they don't know what to do once the instructions end. Because I've seen that a lot, and yeah. So there you guys go. Hope you enjoyed that game, but more importantly, I hope you guys were able to learn some stuff from there, because I really enjoyed it, and it was awesome!